I'm going to bring somebody so amazing onto stage, Miss Jen Gomez in the house. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Kristen.
Oh my gosh. So, tell us for everybody else in the room, like, yeah, I mean, it's like, how long have we been working together? Like 3 weeks?
I mean, if even that, maybe two.
Are
Maybe.
you, and then tell us like, let's assume that they didn't see the live that we did the other day. So just tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Sure. So, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was working for the governor of Louisiana, and I just didn't feel fulfilled, honestly. Like, I have a background in stage acting. I have always been a servant leader, just always been in leadership roles, always been in management roles. Landed that job working for the governor. It was like an incredible opportunity, but I just didn't feel fulfilled. I found myself being there for the first lady, but I wasn't getting filling my cup, right? And so I actually joined a network marketing company, Beautycounter, actually, if you're familiar, and I was with them for 5 years, and it was incredible. I felt like I had found a piece of myself that had been buried and that hadn't been able to get a voice. And it was the mentorship and the coaching and building women up to believe in themselves that they could make more money. And I didn't, I'll be transparent. I didn't love that I was like pushing a product, but I loved the backbones and foundation of what I was doing. So when the governor's term ended, I was with him for both of his terms. And when it ended, I had a really interesting decision to make. I was like, do I want to go back into an office where I feel unfulfilled, or do I want to go and try to do this for real? And so I launched a women's retreat, like a women's leadership retreat at the tail end of the governor's office term ending this past year. And it went so well. It happened in January. So if you can just imagine my life, like I'm ending this 8 year career with the governor. I have no job. I have no kids. The new governor that was coming in was like, thank you, but no, thank you. We don't want you anymore. It was crazy. And I was like, I'm just going to go with this tiny little spark that feels right and just move forward. And so I started working with some other coaches, and that's actually how I met Kristen. And we were kind of in the same group together, and she just brings this energy and brings this light. And I was like, okay, I did this retreat. Now I want to go and I want to coach women, but I don't know what I want to coach on. I don't know who I am, what my voice is. I don't know any of it. So it's definitely been a lot of trial and error. But forward momentum, messy action. I completely agree with Kristen that action brings clarity. And so over the course of, the past 10 or 11 months, I actually held a second retreat in June. They're called the Rise and Reflect retreats. And it went really well as well. And then I started to say, okay, it's now 6 or 7 months into this business. I haven't had to get a job yet. I think this is serious. Like, I think I need to really lean in and take this more seriously because, if you've ever invested, I lost a 6-figure job. Beautycounter foreclosed, if you didn't know. So I actually lost two incomes and I invested. And I just felt like I was kind of not doing what I like. There was something more. I knew that there was this, like, there was something I was missing. There was something that I could be implementing that I wasn't, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. And so I've been kind of watching Kristen and like talking about I've been doing master classes to act as a funnel for my coaching programs. I do one-on-one coaching, and then I've launched 2 different group coaching cohorts. And so I was using those as funnels. Like I'm implementing, but again, it just wasn't, something was missing. And so I called Kristen, or maybe a voice message to you or something. And I was like, okay, tell me everything. What am I doing wrong? Like, I don't know what I'm missing. And I know that I think you do something like this. And she was like, I do. And so I pretty much immediately just jumped on to being one of her VIP clients because she has a system that's literally taking me from that uncertainty to the 10x, to the clarity, to the less is more, to and after everything, y'all, in this past year, I am so confident that the value that I bring is worth that price point, but I needed someone to give me permission to shift everything in my business. So like day one, because again, I've built all these funnels up over the past year. So I had somebody reach out and was like, I want to work with you. And day one, I'm like sending her all these different offers. And I remember Kristen being like, great. But no, like you are not offering any of those things anymore. This is your one offer. This is the price point. That's it. And so from that day forward, I mean, I shifted my branding, shifted my messaging, I reflected back, like whether Kristen knows this or not, she just infused this confidence within me and made me realize that I had been messaging incorrectly, I had been targeting incorrectly. And we hear all of those things, right? Like, don't target the people who aren't going to move forward. Like we should be saying, no, I want the driven people who are wanting to take massive action, because that is how you get the results. So once I shifted my price point, I got a client at that price point, like day 3 or something. It still didn't really have an idea of like my offer, haven't done my first masterclass, but now we're at the point, I think we're about a week, 2 weeks in or something like that. And we're getting really clear on what the offer is. I'm launching my first masterclass. My goal, just to let y'all know, again, I just started this. My goal is to get 25 VIP clients by the end of the year at 25K. Like when I do that, it will have changed our life. It will have changed our life. And I'll be able to impact more. It's not even about the money, right? It's about the money that we're making so that we can make a greater impact as we continue to go. So I am doing this not for me, but so that I can help my clients who now I'm like starting to attract all these women, female coaches who want to scale. I am working on scaling so I can teach them how to scale. So we're not going to know how to help our people make more money. That's been my whole thing this whole time, is I want women to understand that they can make a ton of money on their own and feel really good about the impact that they're making. So thank you, Kristen, for helping me find that confidence in that voice.
Oh my gosh, Jen Gomez, that is so much more than I could even ask for you to share. So I really appreciate that. And you hit on so many things about like the confidence. And did you even, it's kind of a weird question to ask now because I didn't think that your confidence was lacking, but looking back, was your confidence lacking, or by working with me, did it just like, and there's no wrong answer here. It's just like, I'm just so curious because it's funny how we see things on social media,
Yeah.
right? And then like what's actually happening on the inside is a lot of maybe sometimes other things. So it's just, where were you a few weeks ago before we talked with your confidence and the confusion or the lack of clarity?
I was frustrated. I was so frustrated of launching, of pitching, of promoting, of feeling like I was alone. And don't get me wrong, like the coaches that I have worked with have been incredible in this entire process. But I just knew that I needed something a little bit more to refine what I was, my messaging, my offer, and to really be able to get to that next level. As far as confidence levels, you know, how do I say this? When people meet me, they're like, you are the most confident person that I know. But I asked my husband, we've been together for almost 20 years, y'all. We just hit our 12-year wedding anniversary. And he's my best friend. And I'm like, why do people think I'm so confident? Like, do you think I'm a confident person? He goes, absolutely not. So I think that when I'm in my flow, when I am feeling just that energy, which is what you see, which is what I've finally arrived, right? Like, this is what I've waited for all of those years where I felt like I didn't fit in school, where I felt like I didn't fit in work, where I felt like I didn't fit in. Like, it was all so that I could be here and be this inspiration for others. But I am human and I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I am scared to death that I'm going to ruin someone's life that could, because I don't have anything, I go into self-doubt. I go into self-esteem issues. We all get that way, even the most popular Oprah, even, like I tell my clients this, it's so fascinating, like the most highest performing people surround themselves with coaches, because every single one of us will get into that slump, and we need people around us to remind us, like, okay, remember why you're here, remember where we're going, remember what you're doing. So am I a confident person? Sure, when I am funneling through my purpose, but there are some times where I am totally lost and the hormones are, acting up or whatever. My kids' schoolwork is crazy. Like, if you're a mom or whatever, it just happens and your confidence slumps down. But I will say that having a mixture of both and sharing the vulnerability and sharing where you're at, it definitely establishes a trust within your organization, within those people that you're serving, of like, I don't have it all figured out, and that's okay, but I'm going to continue to learn, I'm going to continue to grow so that I can bring the best value to you at every part of my journey. Like, the moment that you stop learning is the moment that your business will stop.
Mm, so good. So many nuggets. And I see it in the chat. Everyone's like, thank you for sharing your humanness with us. And